So in 2019, I was hanging around some associates, and one of them, another guy, said to me that they were the two best assets in the country. Um, they mentioned that that guy in particular mentioned that he had different meetings with state security. But anyway, like the first guy who never really said anything, he didn't actually ever admit to being an asset or anything like that. I was going to a lot of bars with him, and like this is something you'll find with like bikies and all that sort of stuff. Like a lot, like bikies is just like full of fucking like police and state security assets. That's the only way in. That's the only way in if you're connected to assets. But anyway, this asset, I walk into like a bar that we'd been to a few times, and he tells me to wait. So I wait, and then he like runs over to this woman, and like she's like twice my age. She's like in her 40s, and I'm in my early 20s. And he points at me, and then like waves me over, and I'm thinking this is strange. And I walk over, and she just like fucking plants one on me. Like she just like starts making out with me, and fucking like anyway, like nothing happened after that. But like we left. It was a very questionable and strange interaction of why this all happened. But yeah, I didn't initiate contact or anything like that. Like I just walked over and she just fucking started kissing me. And anyway, like then later on to this, and then like 2020 was shot, and then 2021, I fucking there was like this was during COVID, so there was like a COVID rally happening in Melbourne. And I found their online groups, and I decided to like test my psyop skills, and so I infiltrated. So I infiltrated their groups, and I recruited like 30 people to my group. Like I vetted and recruited them, and like I was fully aware that like the majority of them would be police, but from my knowledge and how I'd been taught, police were a good thing because you can use them to your you can use them as workers. Essentially they get paid and they work for you. So that was my here's the pokeball. Here's the fucking pokeball. I told you the pokeball would be in the videos. But anyway, hang on, we're gonna move that. We're gonna like move it a bit. That's my 8-inch cock. But anyway, yeah, so like yeah, so I had a bunch of these coppers in my group, and like I got them to all be like not all of them, like I got like a couple of them to be admins. And like when it straight away when it started, there was this like older duck, and she fucking like she was perfect because she just like wouldn't shut the fuck up. So like perfect for what I was trying to do. So basically what I was trying to do was create like an echo chamber, to like socially engineer or like gather information on the government. So I wanted, I'm gonna fix that pokeball. What I was trying to do was to get people to spill information, and like I was creating this echo chamber where they would just like talk every night, and just like spit out information. Like every post they made and every call they made, I listened to it and I read their messages, but I barely engaged. That's the ironic thing. I barely engaged in this group. I just watched and I set up admins, and just like gathered intel. Like I heard some very interesting things. People had information about corruption and all that sort of stuff. So it was very interesting. But that initial chick that I said wouldn't shut the fuck up, she got booted from the group pretty much straight away because she was like, I would say she was a bit of a shill. Like she was like challenging people, and I didn't want that. I wanted people just to like like I didn't want people to like question COVID, like is it real and all that sort of stuff. I wanted them to like say what they thought. So as soon as this guy said to me, she's no good, I was like, yeah, fucking oh, she's no good, and I booted her out. But I kept an eye on her, and like there were these like this group of people going around that were trolling people, and I communicated with them. Like I had one guy was a taxi driver from Sydney, and he was like on the phone to me for like 45 minutes just going on about how he was being trolled by these people. And I spoke to him, and the guy said to me he was going by the alias Disco Dan. Now I'm only naming his alias because it's fucking pretty sick fucking alias, Disco Dan. But Disco Dan said to me that they were Russian trolls. Well, he said they were Russian and they were social democrats. And when I searched up this woman that was first in the chat, and I didn't realize this at the time, but it was when I looked back on it and like recently, she looked really similar to the woman that kissed me in the bar. It's not her, but like the same type of like phenotype, like the same racial features. And ironically, this Disco Dan guy was live streaming on Twitch, and he live streamed his private chats, and he had the asset in his private chat. So I learned that they were connected. So like the woman that kissed me was a Russian. Like she's like, if you look back into like ASIO's history in the 70s and 80s, they were infiltrated by Soviets. So it's like it's this group of people, and like you'll know, like if you've heard anything about me, you've heard from the first psyop back in 2023 when I exposed the government for being part of like a false flag, which is how I described it. But like what I didn't go into is the false flag is actually Russian. Like it is it's this group of Russian people who are, you know, involved in the false flag or creating the false flag. They are the orchestrators and the puppeteers of the false flag that I was speaking about back in 2023. But that's not what I'm here to speak about right at this time. I'm here to speak about her wanting to fluid bond with me through French kissing. You know, I'm a handsome French man. I'm a quarter French, so I know she may have wanted that. You know, a little bit of a smooch with a French man, but you know, I have to say, like, it's a bit fucking strange. It is very, very fucking strange. But that's how I found out that the woman that fucking kissed me was Russian. Yeah, because I ran a little psyop during the COVID rallies and recruited a bunch of people and came across these Russian trolls and found the asset in their group, obviously. But yeah, I'll leave that all to your interpretation. Don't forget the Pokeball and my 8-inch cock. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video.